were told to believe, to follow, to obey. Pause. That to question your religion was to betray your creator. That doubt equals sin. Pause. But what if your religion was never meant to awaken you, only to control you? What if the God you were told to fear wasn't God at all? This is deep truth. And today we're going to break the spell. Long before temples, before churches, before sacred texts were written, there was still faith. Faith was personal, intuitive, a conversation between the soul and the unknown. People connected to the divine, through nature, through silence, through inner awareness. There were no rules, no punishments, no guilt, only presence, only trust. But that kind of freedom can't be controlled, and anything that can't be controlled becomes dangerous to systems of power. As civilizations grew, so did their hunger for structure and control. What was once mystical and open was turned into law. A priesthood emerged, a class of men who claimed they could speak for God. They interpreted dreams, performed rituals, and slowly began to draw a line between the sacred and the sinful. Those who obeyed were saved. Those who questioned were damned. Fear became the foundation of belief. Religion became a structure, with levels, roles, and rules, and above all, a hierarchy. And just like that, the divine was no longer within, it was relocated to an institution. You've been told that scripture is perfect, that every word is sacred, but few ever ask, who wrote it? And more importantly, who edited it? Holy texts have been copied, translated, and revised, not once, but over centuries. Some parts were lost, others deliberately removed. Powerful councils met to decide which books to include and which to burn. They chose what fit their goals, not necessarily what was true. The God you were taught to fear was molded by kings, by empires, by agendas. They didn't just rewrite the word, they rewrote your relationship with truth. Control is most effective when people believe they're choosing it. Pause. Religion didn't have to chain you, just had to scare you. You'll burn forever if you disobey. You're nothing without the church. You can't trust your own mind. Sound familiar? These aren't spiritual teachings. They're psychological weapons, used to control populations, used to justify conquest, used to silence entire cultures. Real spirituality teaches freedom, but systems of religion, they often teach fear. Guilt is a powerful drug. It makes you control yourself, so no one else has to. Religions learn to embed guilt into everything human. Desire, doubt, thought, emotion, curiosity. You were taught to apologize for existing, taught to confess what was never sinful in the first place, and over time, you stop listening to your soul, because all you hear is shame. That's not divine, that's programming. True faith invites questions. It doesn't collapse when challenged, it expands. Real faith isn't threatened by science, or other beliefs, or your doubts. It welcomes them, because real faith isn't about control, it's about truth. The good news is this: your connection to the divine was never broken. You were simply taught to look outside instead of within. You don't need a title to hear truth. You don't need a building to find God. You just need to remember who you really are. They rewrote the word, they rewrote the rules, but they could never rewrite your soul. This is deep truth. Unlearn the fear. Reconnect to the source. Question, feel, remember, subscribe, and keep thinking for yourself.